Standing on the Shoulder of Giants is the fourth Oasis studio album, released in 2000. No, I'm not doing that. I'd like to do one on that. I don't do as much music stuff as I used to. I did one for Ghost the other day. It's fun. I like doing those. But usually, a lot of stuff I talk about, I just want to make a note about. A lot of these concepts, ideas that pass through the transom of the ether, at least for what I get stuck on, I pick up from much more intelligent, more tuned in people, and I'll take like a bit of this, an idea from there, and then I just try to form my own hypothesis and theories, whatever. But yeah, it's not often I come up with a whole cloth concept. That's kind of how it works, though. Like, or how it works for me. But the sleep thing is kind of my thing. You know, I've been doing that quite a bit. And the other day I was talking about how the reason you have to sleep isn't so much to do with being tired, because you could sit and watch TV all day and then get tired. It's so I mean whoever they is or what it is, resets the screen, resets the illusion, the thing that you're watching when you walk around and look at anything, really. It's that the veil, whatever it is. I think it's all the same technology, or based in the same technology. And for whatever reason, they have to keep refitting it. I was thinking like that there may have perhaps been a time where like we didn't really have to sleep like we do now. Like maybe people stayed up for fucking days. I don't know. Because I haven't really proven to my satisfaction, but got pretty close. I have been pretty close to kind of figuring out that it doesn't really have anything to do with rest. Or although you do, you know, rebuild tissue, you heal better when you're sleeping. Because I believe anyway, and again, this is one of those things that I picked up from smarter and more aware people, is that you leave the body when you sleep. You, for all intents and purposes, come out of it in like some sort of astral form. But you're connected, from what I understand, what I've come to learn, is you're connected via the navel. By I gotta give this guy money, he's awesome. By some sort of string, like a a spiritual string, something akin to like how we talk about. Hold on. Thank you. Yeah, that guy's awesome. Like a lot of people like that busker out here, it's a lot of bluster signifying nothing. Just a lot of yelling usually, and like this guy actually sings. Very nice. See how like nice that is? This dude adds to the area, an area that's normally just taken from. And people don't do it consciously sometimes, but, and it's a vacation spot. But there's not a lot of people adding. They don't add to the area, they just, you know, experience the area and sometimes take, in an energy sense. But a guy like that adds to the area, you know? It's not obtrusive, he's not yelling for crowd participation or asking people for money, which seems to be a big thing out here. I can see groups of people doing stuff. There's a couple of b-boy crews here. Some of them are pretty good. There was one night I was walking by, and the guy's talking to the group of people out there, and he's like, we work off your energy. So if this show sucks, it's your fault. And I was like, wow, what a great thing. Like, I wish I had that in my toolbox over the past too many years to think of. But yeah, that guy is definitely good. There's another guitar player down here too that I like. That he's like a studio cap, really technically proficient. But anyway, the sleep thing. Oh Jesus, sorry about that. I got way off course there. The kind of single-mindedness that I've made my stock in trade. The thing about the sleep thing is you're still connected by your body, but you're out of your body. I think, you know. And what that does is when your consciousness isn't animating the body, all of a sudden they don't need 90% of the systems you're using. Because a lot of what's going on in your body is, of course, predicated on what your consciousness is doing or how you're currently living your life. You know, it has to mitigate damage, it has to create energy. There's all this stuff it has to do for it. I mean energy in a physical sense, like, you know. So what ends up happening is nothing gets done in your body. And then add to it that they tell you to eat 3 meals a day and even fucking snacks in between. And what you've done, essentially, is turn your body into a waste treatment plant where all its energy is spent trying to get this stuff out of your body. And it can't get it out fast enough. So pockets of food remain in your system in different parts of the, you know, of the factory. And then they can sit there and rot, and then the rot creates illness, you know, and that's how a lot of people get sick. You're eating too much food, your body can't process it quick enough, so it's like, fuck, we'll deal with this later, and it gets stuck in a thing, and then it just it goes bad, metastasizes. You know what I'm saying? We eat too much, you know. I mean. And that keeps us in a fucked up state because our body's constantly trying to deal with the foreign object that's in you. Anything that is going to cause like disease or illness or anything like that, these things just don't happen. I know they have this fairy tale, like, oh, it just develops out of nowhere for no reason. No, that's a faulty product. We weren't built that way. You know, there's a lot more thought that went into it. It's like when I talk about having operations, it's like, why would you build that's why they have to keep creationism under wraps. They have to push Darwinism and stuff like that, because you couldn't have been designed, because if you were designed, then it brings up all sorts of questions. One, like, you know, the car analogy. You have a Ferrari, a super nice car, and it's like, oh, I think it needs an oil change. It's like, all right, well, it doesn't have a hood? No, what do you mean a hood? Well, then we have to drill into it. What? Yeah, we got to drill a hole in it to put the new... You'd never build a car like that. You know, that kind of craftsmanship, you'd build it so that it's self-sustaining. It takes care of itself. If someone can do this, right, they can build a person that's self-sustaining, right? Come on. If they can do this. And by this, I mean the trees and I guess some of the people. But it's silly, you know? It could do this. It could make a self-sustaining body. So when you have, you know, look at this great Ferrari I have. But to make sure it runs, you have to drill a hole into it and go in there and ruin a lot of the stuff. Like it fucks up everything else. It's just like a surgery. So I don't think it's supposed to be like that. So on top of it, your body's being hindered with this self-healing process by using all its resources to get stuff out of your body. You know, because that's priority number one. When something goes into your system, your body is like, oh, this doesn't belong here. Let's get rid of this. Many times, if it derives nutrients or some benefit, it's just a side effect of them getting rid of it. You know, you get gains out of stuff almost in a secondary way. The first thing is to get that thing out of your body, you know, because it doesn't belong in there. There are some people that have even, well, not just floated the idea, they made like their whole career around it in some cases, that we could live on sunlight and water. I don't know about that, but it's kind of an interesting thought, because what it says is that the body is fine how it is. It on its own can take care of itself. It can rebuild, it can repair damage. It doesn't need, you don't need to drill a hole into it. You know what I mean? You don't need to drill a hole into it. There are too many people. I try not to get people on camera, but fuck, man, it's like sometimes it's hard. It's a busy time now. I think this is like prime time out here. What time is it? Let me see. Oh, 9 o'clock. Yeah, so this is like prime time out here. It's funny, I'm on another guy's camera as I'm filming. It's like cameraception. But yeah, that's what it is, really. A walking sewer garbage treatment plant. Just trying to get that out of your system. And it's the stuff you put in it too. I mean, that's not even thinking about the kind of food you put in it, how damaging that is, how long it takes to get out of your system. Sometimes things just have to stay in there for a while. It's kind of a terrible thought. So I've been trying to gear my diet around evacuation. You know, like let me fast for a while first and get rid of what is in my system, and then just be real careful about what I decide to add to it. It's hard though. Living that way though, one thing I will say is I don't get like hungry anymore. Like you know, I used to be out somewhere or you know, wherever I was, and I was like, oh man, I'm hungry, I gotta get something to eat, I'm gonna go crazy. I don't have that anymore. It's more of like, oh yeah, maybe I'll have a little bit of that. Fasting is the way to go. It was the way to go for me. I mean, I don't know if it's worked for anyone else, but I started doing 6-hour fast and 8-hour fast and 24-hour fast. I did a day and a half once, and right before the end of that day and a half period, there was a time where I was really hungry. I got like really hungry. Lasted a couple hours, right? This is towards the end of the fast. In the last actual hour, I was all right. I got through that 2 hours of like starving. And what happens after that point, or the other point where you're not putting food into it, your body starts using what you have in it already, you know? And it starts burning off fat. Like it'll start to use that to run your body off of. And when you're running off that, you seem to run a little better. I don't know, to me anyway, it seems like I run a little better. Like when I'm running off stuff that's, you know, from my system. Does that make any sense? Probably not. Yeah, I get a little bit distracted sometimes when I'm walking. There's a lot of people. So, yeah, I started with the dream thing. Yeah, I think that was it. That's all I really had going on. This video sucks, huh? But at least you get to see some of the lovely Waikiki. I love it here, man. I love this place. You know, so lucky to have ended up here. You know, never imagined it would be kind of the place I would end up, but it kind of made sense in the scenario when living through it in real time. All right, I'm gonna go live through some more scenarios. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.